Hello! How's it going?
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Nintendo, sir. I'm really excited. I saw a little thing that you put up about the Lego Mario stuff, and I'm really looking forward to these. I've been playing Mario games for years. I've played all different kinds of Mario games, but I also had some really cool ideas of how I think this will go, and maybe you can tell me if these will actually happen.
Let's take a look at what you got here. Oh, You know what? Those actually sound like some really good ideas, man. I'm gonna have to talk with my partner, though, see how everything goes. But I think we have something kind of like this in mind.
Hey, how's it going?
Wait, what? You serious? This is not what we talked about. This is not what we can't do that. What? Well, they're not bad ideas. Do you really think that we can make this out of this? They're entirely different things. It's like, basically brand new pieces. They're never going to be used again. It's not even a Lego at that point. But that's kind of your thing, though, right? I mean, you do everything with minifigures associated with them, right? Have you even read this and seen how difficult this stuff is to make? That's just the tip of the iceberg, man. Why would you say a thing like that?
Well, I'll tell you what. What we're going for, kid, is we're making this with Mario. Yeah, that's basically it. That's what we're working on. So you get a little bit of this coming back. Something we haven't done for a while. Good to bring some new old things back. Make them new. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I think that's a cool idea. Okay. I mean, it's not what I was expecting. It's not what most people thought of, but it could still be cool in its own merit, and it doesn't mean that minifigures are out of the question yet, so there's hope. It's just not right now, but I think it'll be fun in the meantime. So hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I'm here talking about Lego Mario because I don't do anything else on this channel. Everybody comes here because I made 3 videos in a row about Lego Mario. At a time where I'm supposed to be on a video hiatus of sorts. But here we are. So, this is important to me. I'm gonna keep going with it. And so here's the thing. Yesterday's video, the last video that I made about this, I was drawing up a whole bunch of speculation as to what these Mario sets could be like. I'm trying to think logistically, in a first wave or so, what would be offered? What kind of style would the builds be? How would the minifigures be represented? Or what choices of minifigures? And I was going to include pictures in there of the actual characters or some kind of mock-up, but I didn't have enough time. I had to run out to work. So now that I'm back, it's like, well, okay, people actually did want to see more visual with that instead of me just writing on a sketchbook pad, so I'm gonna still do that. Although at this point, it's kind of not helpful, because we already know what the sets look like. So if I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make it for real. More on that later, though. So, this is finally out. These are going to be interactive board game of sorts. I don't know what the word for it is, but I'm sure there's a word out there that LEGO has for all of these integrations of physical toys and technology, because it's something that they've been practicing for several years at this point. I'd say almost the past decade at this point, trying to bridge the gap between them in different ways, and this is just another version of that. And it kind of makes sense though, because it's like, well, people that are familiar with Mario as a video game franchise can come over to this. People that are familiar with Lego, but still recognize Mario, can have fun with this and not be too invested in video games or anything like that. So, it's another attempt, kind of like how they did Lego Fusion, Life of George, Lego Dimensions, and probably a dozen of other things that are connected with apps, such as even the most recent Hidden Side. And it's cool for what it is, because you have Mario that has an LCD screen or two built on him, so you can change expressions on him depending on what he's interacting with. It has a screen to give your stats about the time left in the level, the number of coins collected, when you've reached the end of the level. It has a speaker that'll actually make sounds with it, so Charles Martinet has more voice acting in this figure, which is kind of cool of him saying Lego Mario time. I also do appreciate the beginning and the end of the commercial when they snap bricks together, making it to the melody of the Super Mario Brothers theme. That was a good little inclusion in there. I caught on that. Moving on from that, I also kind of like this because it's a return of physical tabletop Lego sets. They haven't really made anything board game related in a long time, especially at a big rate like they did with Lego games in the early 2010s. So this way, you get to build the set as it is, play around with it for what they expect out of it or what rules they set up for it, and then you can customize it to add your own parts to it, integrate it with other sets from the line, and make more possibilities. I really like the idea behind that. So, that works fairly well. It's also not the first time that Mario has been represented in board game form. There's been a Monopoly version of Mario. There's been countless other board games of some variety with him, whether or not original or just like a reskin of a popular board game. It's out there. It's, you know, Mario's already been a physical media as much as a video game media before. So, I'm not too concerned about that. Yes, I am still upset with the fact that it's not about the minifigures. It still throws me off about that, especially a lot of speculation, and as you'll see sometime later, some of the designs that I had coming up for predicting what the sets will be like. But I'm still going to try to work on those, don't you worry. And if you want to see them now, they are available on Instagram and Twitter at Maniac4Bricks official on Instagram, and Maniac4Bricks on Twitter. Moving aside from that, some people have said this could be similar to Minecraft, where it took a little bit of time before it actually became a minifigure scaled license. Because the first Minecraft sets was, well, first of all, a LEGO Ideas model, which was a micro version of Minecraft, built with a couple of bricks or plates, one by one style, for every figure in there, and occasionally having one on the side, like a zombie pigman had like a plate with a clip on it, so he could hold a sword, something like that. And then eventually, then it became like 2 standard Minecraft sets outside of Ideas, and then it became a minifigure as we see today, sometime down the road. But as we know, this stuff takes time and a lot of work to make it fit into minifigure scale. Minifigure scale, while it is very popular and it's the main thing that LEGO uses for a figure system now, it is a very difficult one to make, especially when it comes to making new molds for it. I know that there are some licenses, Star Wars, that aren't shy of making new molds every drop of the hat to, I made like 3 more of them, to making new ones that are based on certain characters, and they may be really specific characters, so it's like, why would it only be for one thing if you're not going to make it again, or make another color of it? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but somehow it still works, and people still want to collect those and see new varieties of Star Wars figures. To make it just with existing parts is a bit tricky. Now with Mario, what I did with my designs, I worked with just making it as if it was with minifigure heads. Kind of like how the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo were represented. It's a tricky thing to try printing on that small of a surface and getting the right details for it. So even though I still like the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo and other themes that use those, but I'm not really like offended if they try new head molds. It just might be a bigger process to do so, because you're trying to make something that's incredibly small, and you have to get the right, you not only have to worry about accuracy, but also have to worry about structure. You have to make sure that it's going to be a solid piece, it's going to have the right features to it, that it'll actually fit relatively in scale with a minifigure body. Look at the Lego Simpsons for an example of that. And they have dozens of molds for all of their heads, all unique shapes. The only 2 that are remotely similar are Lisa and Maggie, and they still have differences between them, especially with things like, the printing on them, or if they're hand-painted. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a mechanical engineer or anything. I don't know the exact process that goes into it, but I've read a little bit over time with that little thing over there called the Lego Library. And they go behind the scenes on how minifigures are developed. So I would imagine that's a tricky thing to do at that small of a scale. When doing it for this series that they officially announced with the board game style, that's a little bit easier to work with because you have much larger pieces that you can make. You can, you know, tweak them a little bit but still make them accurate, so you won't have to worry about any huge flaws or things breaking apart. It may cost a little bit more in plastic, but it's still going to be what it needs to be. I actually do like some of the new plates for it. They kind of remind me of the Juniors plates, that they have like a double plate layer to them, but still have an indentation so you can connect other plates together. That's actually pretty cool. I do like the, as JB Brick Fanatic pointed out, the 3x3 round tile. That was a good catch. I didn't see that before, so thank you, JB Brick Fanatic. If you haven't followed him already, you should. And I also noted, someone on Twitter mentioned that there was Monty Mole, but he was only briefly shown in the video. Like, he was seen in one clip, and then every time they showed around the set again, V was no longer there. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully it's still included. And from what I saw and what it said at the end of that video, multiple sets shown, this looks to be about 3 or 4 sets. So it's not the entire Super Mario wave or all of the set listings and set pricings that people have found online and the piece count and whatever the case may be. It may not be all of them. But they're still going to put a whole bunch into this because they want to make it customizable. They want to make it fleshed out. They want to make it work for her now. I'm still holding out hope that the minifigures will come out at some point, even though I've already argued against them. I know that there are better scales of building stuff that are larger than minifigures, but I also know at this point there's a lot of history to minifigures, there's a lot of iconography to minifigures. It's kind of hard to reverse that into something else that's like Jack Stone scale or CCBS or let's say Belleville or Scala. It's not going to be easy to make stuff for those. So I'm looking forward to it, even if it's not my thing, even if it's not entirely what I was expecting. But what I can do is I can build what I do want, because I am a builder. And I think a lot of us out there are builders, so we can take pieces that we have and try to replicate Mario, same as if we've always done before this announcement came out. So, if anything, this is giving me a bigger push to try to make these sets a reality. Sets. They're mocks. I don't want to confuse the two. I don't want to give any false information about them. But I want to try to make these little worlds as mocks, and if I can work hard enough around here, maybe we'll see them real soon. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts down in the description or comments below, and we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. Maybe now I can actually take a little bit of a video break, because I surely need one to get more done around here in the whole LEGO space. I'll talk to you later.